Hello, everyone. This is Top for Glory, episode 255. That means we are about 50 episodes ahead of being cruiserweight. So it's nothing but straight up heavyweights on Top for Glory. We are 24 hours removed off of a dream, a WrestleDream, if you will. We are, 24 hours away from Monday Night Raw. There's a lot of wrestling that's happened in the last couple months, last couple weeks. And I believe this is going to be the October cap off because nothing else comes after this. What are we reviewing? You already know. We are reviewing AEW WrestleDream 2025 because you guys already know where there's a podcast, where there's wrestling. If there's already been predictions, you guys already know there's going to be gameplay and there's definitely going to be reviews. So before all that, introductions are always a must. I'm Enigma V4 here to bring you AEW WrestleDream review. To start us off, we'll be talking about Thekla versus Jamie Hayter. I enjoyed this match, but at the same time, I didn't really feel that walking away, someone here is going to gain something. Maybe it furthers the story of the inevitable blood and guts match. But I was kind of hoping that after this match, I would walk away telling myself, I could really see Thekla win the TBS, or I can see Thekla win the AEW Women's, or this puts Jamie right back on the path of challenging for the AEW Women's, or maybe Jamie might go for the TBS, or hell, even well, actually, no, Jamie doesn't have a tag partner. I'm not counting Queen Aminata, but if there's one thing this thing just told me, it was just these two women went out there and put on a match that I enjoyed. There wasn't really much I could say about this. Jamie Hayter is now on the list of great wrestlers that Thekla has been in the ring with. Again, personal favorite. If you guys want a Thekla match recommendation, I recommend you guys watch Thekla versus Mai Iwatani for the SWA Championship. That's probably my top 5 favorite Thekla matches. And honestly, this match did something for me. It made me really want to see Jamie Hayter face more pound for pound wrestlers. Now, physically, Thekla wasn't as strong as Jamie Hayter, but when it comes to striking, you don't really see that many people that want to go pound for pound with Hayter. So, if there's anyone else in the AEW women's locker room that can go pound for pound with Jamie Hayter, so like a Thekla, like a Hikaru Shida, like a like an Athena, like a Chris Statlander, like a Willow Nightingale. I need to see more of that because that is a match type for Jamie Hayter that we don't really get to see often. And going pound for pound, going tick for tack, Jamie Hayter ended up getting the win here, and I like seeing that Thekla was kind of just in shock, like, oh, you got me, okay. And then you have Queen Aminata celebrating the win, and then you have I'm trying to think what was their name. I think it was the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue on the ramp, and Thekla near ringside. And I thought, okay, are the Triangle of Madness about to attack them, and then two people come out or something? What are we doing there? But be all and end all, congratulations to Jamie Hayter on this win. Where does she go after this? I don't know. Probably blood and guts. But now let's move on to a match that had carnage. It is a tornado tag 3v3, the Demand versus the Syndicate It is Bishop Khan, Tone Leona, and Ricochet versus Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MVP. Yeah. The only thing that this kind of makes me want to say is, I wish they didn't have that street fight, because you could have just did the street fight here. I don't really get what was the point of like the 3v3 street fight on Dynamite and then like this tornado tag on at WrestleDream. For it was kind of giving me the idea, like, not the idea, the issue of when like WWE does like a street fight and then they're like, oh, and then the next match it's also a no holds barred match. It's like, what the hell is the difference between a street fight and a no holds barred match? So I was kind of asking myself that question watching, like, what the fuck was the difference here between the 3v3 here and the street fight on Wednesday? Whoa, was it just a tire? But this match was bloody brutal. Well, it wasn't bloody, sadly. But also, this match was a number one contenders match for the trios title, which it really had skipped my mind, the idea of the Hurt Syndicate challenging for trios. Because again, I kind of just accepted the idea that MVP is more manager than wrestler now these days. So him challenging for gold in 2025 is not on my bingo list. But the demand looked promising. Ricochet was going to get his ass beat again, but I believe it was Tone Leona that like pulled him out, and like he slammed the shit out of him. Like he grabbed his leg and they just threw him, and then he gets in the ring to talk shit to everyone, and he still gets his ass beat. But Hurt Syndicate still got the win, and I just got to say this because I constantly have to remind people, I don't care if your favorite is 21, 25, 30, 35. I don't care, because if they aren't moving like Shelton Benjamin at 50, what are they doing? Shelton Benjamin, a true genetic freak. You're telling me at 50 this man is moving the way he was? Again, if it's not AEW, put the Ring of Honor World title on him. Actually, guys, with the Hurt Syndicate now no longer AEW Tag Team Champions, should the Hurt Syndicate go for singles gold while also still being managed by MVP? So there's a chance we may see Bobby Lashley with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, or maybe we even see Shelton Benjamin with the Ring of Honor World Championship. Maybe that's a match you guys want to see. Do you guys want to see Bandito versus Shelton Benjamin? I know I do. But beyond an end note, congratulations to the Hurt Syndicate, because they hurt people. And they're the number one contenders for the trios titles, which I'm going to have to talk about later. Next, it is the tag match that we were all waiting for. Jurassic Express. This man is no one's scapegoat, and his partner is no one's monster. It is Jack Perry and Luchasaurus versus Generation Me. Max Buck, Jeremy Buck, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, former EVPs, but they're still Top for Glory's 2024 Tag Team of the Year. Sadly, they aren't the Money Bucks. They're still the Broke Bucks, the Young Bucks. So I am surprised that this match came a little sooner than what I was originally expecting. What I was expecting was maybe this would be like third to main event. But the time that they were given, I loved it. I love that they didn't do all the crazy spots. But I will say this. I will say this about the Young Bucks. I think they need a new tag finisher. I love the EVP trigger, I guess the BTE trigger, the Tony Khan driver, the Meltzer driver, the Indie Taker, like those things. But it feels like if people are kicking out of those moves, you need something new. Also more bang for your buck. That's also a Young Bucks classic. But yeah, so if you guys can, put on 2K25 real quick, or I guess SVR 2011 or 2009, whichever game you can create your own finisher. If you guys could, what new finisher would you guys give the Young Bucks? I think one of the fun things about this was that commentary does a good job of telling us, yeah, Jurassic Express has never beaten the Young Bucks, and the place we're currently in, Jurassic Express lost the tag titles to the Young Bucks. And then one of my other favorite things when it comes to like Jurassic Express, well, actually more like Jack Perry, Luchasaurus was like one of the hottest guys in the arena. Just whenever he got tagged in, the crowd erupted, and God, I love that. I love when the crowd is happy. Um, Jack Perry throughout like the whole match, like was telling this story with with the Young Bucks, like, hey, like we were boys, we were family, we had your back, and these and all these things, only for Jack Perry to go back to like his roots again, like Matt Jackson said, after everything we did for you. So I love that story that was being told in the tag match. But two last things. When Jack Perry reversed the Young Bucks' assisted springboard powerbomb into a Hurricanrana, that was awesome. That made me jump, go, oh fuck, I didn't think that was possible. And two, shout out Lucha Bros. Young Bucks did the Lucha Bros tag finisher, and that got a smile out of me. I love seeing the Young Bucks pay tribute. Saturday they pay tribute to the Lucha Bros. Who knows? Maybe one of these shows they'll pay tribute to the Hardy Boys, and another show they'll probably pay tribute to Motor City Machine Guns, Bad Influence, Kazarian and Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, for you guys that didn't watch TNA. But yeah, so I just love seeing the Young Bucks pay tribute. Also, since I'm on the topic of the Young Bucks real quick, guys, who do you think is the Young Bucks' greatest rival? The Young Bucks have faced people like Evelyn Sonata, the Briscoes, the Hardys, Motor City Machine Guns, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, God. Like who are the Young Bucks tag team rivals? But end of this match, Jurassic Express gets the win, and Jack Perry, he feels something in his heart. Like, let me help out these guys. They helped me out. And they can before Jack Perry and Luchasaurus can like extend the dollar, I guess. Don Callis comes out, beats the shit out of Jurassic Express. Bucks walk away. And I said this on Twitter, I'll say it now. Out comes Kenny Omega, and honestly, if he doesn't have his golden lover, the second best thing he can do is try to repair his broken home, his broken family within the Elite. And that's only a matter of time when the Bucks will rejoin Kenny and all the beef will be squashed. Because if the beef can be squashed between them and Hangman, if Kenny and Hangman's beef can be squashed, who's to say that the one sec. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Who's to say that if the beef between Hangman and Kenny could be squashed, if the beef between Hangman and the Bucks can be squashed, who's to say the beef between the Bucks and Kenny can't be squashed? Do you guys think we'll ever get a Elite reunion? I know a lot of people are on the fence about it, saying that we shouldn't get one. The next time we see the Elite together should be like right before they retire. So, that's something to think about. Like, is that a possibility? The Elite ever returning? Or are the Bucks too gone? Is Kenny Omega on his way out? I know some people say he's made out of glass. Him and Ibushi share the same type of duct tape and prayers. Do you think we'll get a Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks match in AEW? A lot of questions involving the Elite. But beyond and end all, congratulations, Jurassic Express. Congratulations on 500K. All right, next, let's talk about for the AEW Women's Championship. It is Chris Statlander versus Timeless Tony Storm. What a match. What a beautiful match. I don't know what to say other than run it back. Run it back. This match felt like Chris Statlander won Saturday, but she could possibly lose Sunday. And what I mean by that is it didn't feel definitive. Yes, it is. There is no dispute. Tony Storm lost to Chris Statlander, but it looked like Stat had to throw literally everything, and even then she had to go just a little extra just to put down Tony. And Tony, on the other hand, she just couldn't find what to put down Stat with. So I'll say it again, run it back. I don't care when. Maybe World's End. You know what? Maybe we need a women's C2. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing. I love this match. I love the pile drivers. I love the slams. Tony Storm and Chris Statlander, what took them so long to do an actual 1v1? Stat retains after trying to choke out Tony Storm for felt like 5 minutes, but couldn't do it. So she said, fuck it, I'm going to pin you. So 1, 2, 3. Still AEW Women's Champion. Chris Statlander. Underappreciated, but undeniable champion. Speaking of champions, I forgot to write this down, so I'll just talk about this right now. Match after that was Sasha Banks versus Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks versus any champion across the world. And let me say this. If a lot of people, and I truly do mean a lot of people, if a lot of people were expecting Saya Kamitani, or a lot of people were expecting Shuri, I'm not even mad if you guys thought you would get Mayu or Utami. If you guys were expecting a Joshi wrestler from either A, Stardom, or B, Marigold, I am so happy for you to be wrong. It was Mina Shirakawa, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a we can breathe, we can relax, because it's the Ring of Honor Interim Television Championship. I've talked to a lot of people, and the feeling is kind of universal. Like, yeah, we're kind of bored of Mercedes winning belts and all, but it's like you won the interim TV title. Like, you can have that. Like, it's universal. The AEW, it's universal. The Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship is kind of the I couldn't beat Athena belt. And the fact that there's an interim version of this, it's kind of like, Merry Christmas. This is the biggest throw a bone kind of win I've ever seen Mercedes have. And that's nothing bad on Mercedes. It's just, again, it's the interim belt. And I thought I was crazy thinking that this meant something. But again, the word interim kind of means nothing to me. To me, it's kind of like you're the temp, you're the unpaid intern. So, congrats on breaking Ultimo Dragon's record, I guess. Yeah, I just want to go on a mini rant for this. Why? Why did people want Shuri? Why did people want Saya Kamitani? Why, if Mercedes didn't want a champion versus champion match, why did some people want Sari? Like, out of those three, I really want to know, like, why those three? Because not to sound negative, but for the most part, and this is Joshi fans. For the most part, when it comes to like Mercedes belt collector gimmick and all that, Joshi fans are pretty chill about it until it's like, oh, let's have Mercedes go to Stardom and win the red belt. Now it's like, no, that sounds horrible. Like, honest to God, I wouldn't mind Sai Kamitani like literally throwing the strong belt at Mercedes and being like, here, take it. Because that's kind of what what this belt collector gimmick has kind of been. It's not like, oh, like you're fighting for your life on each of these like title matches. It's kind of just like, here, damn. But I guess the line is drawn when, someone that doesn't watch Stardom says, oh, she should go to Stardom and win their belt. She should go win the IWGP belt. Yeah, I don't know what's fans' fascination with this belt collector gimmick. Like, can people let me know? I genuinely want to know, like, what is the hype behind belt collector Monet that you weren't hype about Kurt Angle, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay? Shit, maybe some of you guys were hyped for Austin Aries. But yeah, I don't get that. But hey, congratulations, 10, 11 belts, Monet. But now it looks like at Full Gear we're getting Chris Statlander versus Monet at Full Gear. To tell you the truth, I don't care. I I kind of don't care. But to bring us back to a positive light, I want to talk about our next match, which is Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley in an I Quit match. This match was brutal. I don't think Darby Allin is going to walk naturally, like normally, for at least 2 months. There is no way the beating that Darby took. Is he just waking up today going, it's a regular Sunday? He got thrown. He got thrown by Claudio so hard. And he got hit with a Death Rider through tables, and I believe he got tased. If he didn't get tased, then Mox got tased. And also, I was so convinced that somebody was going to get lit on fire, especially after Darby pulled out lighter fluid. But this match has the key issue I have in wrestling, not just AEW. The baby faces have no friends issue. All right, I get it. The main people fighting the Death Riders were the ops. But don't you think the conglomeration would have came out to help Darby? Like any group, any babyface group or one by one would have helped Darby. Like, you freaking Daddy Magic could have came out. Like, just somebody help Darby. That's what I kept telling myself as like Darby was saying the shit being out of him, only for the lights to go out, and then the return of It's Sting. Hopefully for the last time. I love these Sting cameos, but my guy, you're retired. Enjoy retirement. Watch AEW, but don't step in the ring. But I also think we were getting that because after Sting takes out the Death Riders, Sting doesn't touch Mox. He looks at Mox and just throws his bat at Darby. Maybe this was the metaphorical but also literal passing the torch. And this is the part of the match where I don't really mind it because of timing, but Darby gets a couple shots in with the bat. Then he hits the coffin drop. Then he hits a Scorpion Death drop. Then he hits a Scorpion Death lock, and then he just like taps him out. Well, not tap him out, but Mox says I quit. Two things. One, Mox was on glass. Like, he was eating like a whole chest of glass. So that kind of hurt like hell. But also, this match ended at 12:30. So I would not be surprised if whatever network, whatever pay-per-view provider was in Tony Khan's ear telling him, hurry the fuck up. I would not be surprised at that at all. One moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. And yeah, so I don't mind the timing of the ending because, again, it's 12:30. And as much as I would love like a really cool back and forth comeback spot and all that stuff, I don't mind the ending being that fast because 12:30. If you're watching at home, you probably want to go to sleep. If you're in the crowd, you either left the building or you're just waiting. Now call me a masochist or a sicko, but I really did want an attempt at someone being lit on fire, and then the Death Riders being like, no, 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 he quits. I don't know, just it in a way it does protect Mox, but at the same time, it shows that Mox wasn't afraid to die for this. He wasn't afraid to die for the love of the game. And I don't know. I think that's like one of the coolest things in wrestling when like it's that deep to you. But be all and end all, Darby, you conquered your biggest demon 1 year to the day where your mentor or friend Brian Danielson got choked out with a paper bag, and maybe you avenged him in a way. Now you're on to bigger and better things, hopefully. And if not, if there's a round 3, let it be an Inferno match, guys. With it now being one apiece, where Mox has beaten Darby in a coffin match and Darby has beaten Mox in an I Quit match. What should be the third match, if there is a third match? Me personally, I hope it's an Inferno match. All right, now time to talk about this match. It is for the TNT Championship. It is Aussie Sensation. It is the Proto Star. It is the Aussie Arrow. It is Kyle Fletcher, TNT champion nonetheless, versus freaking Country Kung Fu. He's probably one of the better wrestlers to go from tag team to singles wrestler. I'll throw this out. He's a guy that Smoove wanted to challenge for the world title. Smoove wanted him to challenge for the world title. It is Mark Briscoe. Now, I'm going to say this. I think me and Smoove shared the same sentiment. This match was slow as fuck. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't their best. And what I mean by that is, like, I never felt like this shift in, like, oh, Mark has a chance. It just felt like they were going through the motions. And for me, it kind of takes me out because it's like, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, then this, and that, and then we'll get to here. I will say what started to get me, like, the sell me the dream stuff I tell you guys when it comes to wrestling. Mark started to sell me the dream when he kicked out of the low blow and the brainbuster. I was like, wait, there might be a chance for Mark Briscoe. He might win the TNT title. And then Fletcher hit him with shout out El Generico, the avalanche brainbuster or assisted brainbuster to the turnbuckle. And that was enough to put down Mark Briscoe. Where does Mark Briscoe go from here? If Smoove were here, I'm pretty sure he'd probably still say it. I want Mark Briscoe to challenge for the world title. That'd be pretty cool. I would love to see Hangman versus Mark Briscoe. I don't know. There's something about that match that kind of just sounds cool to me. Plus, we kind of don't get a lot of, like, good face versus face matches. And when we do, it's kind of like, oh, someone's going to turn heel. But the Protostar continues his dominance, really bringing life into the TNT Championship. He might be in that lineage of great TNT champions, like a Cody Rhodes, like a Christian Cage, like a Miro. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe Kyle Fletcher puts his name in there. Now, this is gonna sound crazy because you guys are pretty smart. You guys are gonna put 2 and 2 together and realize what's the actual main event. The next match is for the AEW World Championship. It is Hangman Adam Cowboy Shit Page, defending champion, versus the challenger, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Not gonna lie, in this match, Joe did a good job of selling me the dream that he could win. Because he just really went counter for counter on everything. Dude had an answer for about a majority of the stuff Hangman was throwing at him. And I'm not gonna say that it was on some Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson level, but Joe had submissions. Joe had submissions for days. To the point where, like, you could see on Hangman's face going, like, my God, you will not go down. And what do I have to do to keep you down? To the point where by the time Hangman finally finds his answer, the room for error is so small. I could just imagine right now, as Hangman was going for his buckshot, just, if he reverses this, I'm probably going to tap out. But it didn't take not one, it didn't take two, it took three. It took three buckshot lariats to put down Samoa Joe. And honestly, that is very believable. I think Joe hits a lot harder than Hangman. And I think it's a lot harder to take down Joe than Hangman. Is this the match where and I'm going to try to explain this right after this. Is this a match where I think, like, physically Hangman was outmatched to the point where I said, no, yeah, like, realistically, he should have lost? No, not yet. So, in Hangman's first run with the AEW World title, he had a last man standing match with Lance Archer. And Lance hit a blackout where Hangman bounced off the steps and into a turnbuckle, and I thought, okay, yeah, no, if Lance wins right here, I believe that. So when Hangman finds his physical match or someone way stronger than him and he's beating the cowboy shit out of him, I might go on predictions or review and go, yeah, no, I would not be mad if this person wins. Like, let's say for some reason Claudio launches Hangman into the tables like he did Darby. If you right there tell me, yeah, Claudio's gonna win off of this, I would believe you. Because there's some things in wrestling where it's just, yeah, you should not be walking after this. And waiting to see what that is for Hangman's second AEW World Title run. But what happens after this? The Ops come out. They're saying, you did good, Joe. Hangman trying to be a good sport, saying GG. Joe's contemplating it, and he's just like, nah, fuck that. He's being the shadow Joe. I mean, he's being the shadow of Hangman. But what caught me by surprise was the Ops were beating the shit out of Hangman. So, yes, Shibata, Katsuyori Shibata, Mr. Strong Style himself, is a heel I never thought I would see the day. That is some crazy shit right there. Powerhouse Hobbs, he's a heel. I'm okay with that. Joe, he's a heel. I'm okay with that. The Ops are now heels. I hope this means that they get a lot more violent or that Joe becomes a bigger threat to Hangman. Because the first time Joe lost, this was a casual 1v1, fair game, all that stuff. But who's to say the Ops don't play like the Death Riders? That's just something we're going to have to wait and see. All right, guys, we're about to hit the main event. So thank you, everyone that'll be listening to this. I understand it is late, but Talk Glory Upload try to come to you as fast as possible. But you guys already know when it comes to Talk Glory, the number one thing you guys can always do is to follow the social. So they're about to hit the screen in 3, 2. But yeah, those are the socials, guys. Remember, join the Talk Glory Discord, where we have a bunch of discourse, where we have a lot of conversations. So some people have some bad takes. And yeah, just it's great vibes. Love talking to people, different perspectives. But now, time to hit the Talk for Glory main event. And yes, this is the main event. Now, is this? No, this is not the first ever. But I believe this is the first one in a long time where it is the AEW World Tag Team Championships that are main eventing. So it is the Rainmaker, the Unified Champion, Kazuchika Okada, teaming with the new, and yes, I cannot stress this enough, the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, arguably one of the top contenders for Top Glory, Superstar of the Year. He is the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. And I'm pretty sure Don Callis is going to do a way better introduction than I am, but that's okay because I got a shotgun over him. I got to do it before him. But they face Brodito. They face the Ring of Honor World Champion. And the other half of one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions, Bandito. And the Walking Nightmare. I don't know what this guy's made of. Brody Mother effing King. This match was awesome. I love this. I love this match for the simple fact that it was exactly what I was saying, that these guys were going to be awesome in the ring. All 4 of these guys are spectacular, but egos are just too damn big. And nowhere was it bigger than when Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada looked like they were on the same page. And then just as, you think they're pinballing Bandito, what was I going to say? As they're pinballing Bandito, and Okada's like, oh, this is the perfect time to hit a Rainmaker. like within like 2 feet of Takeshita, which I'm surprised they didn't do um like a version of Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page's tag team finisher where it's like they do the buckshot and the V trigger, where you can do you do Takeshita's raging knee into the Rainmaker. I'm surprised they didn't do that. But hey, Okada tries to go for the Rainmaker because I'm pretty sure for the most part that these guys were trying to 1v2 this. And what I mean by that is when you watch the match, you kind of notice that Takeshi's been in the match for awfully long. Then you notice that that Okada's been in the match for awfully long. Like, are they acting like a tag team? No, they're kind of just like doing their own little I can outdo you kind of stuff. And that's what really made me go like, oh, there's going to be a misunderstanding somewhere, and I'm going to be smiling over it. And that's what happens with the Rainmaker, because when Okada connects, it's not like he's going, oh shit, my bad. He's just like, fuck it. The fact that Okada's just smiling as he just hit Takeshita. And I understand I'm cursing a lot, but that's because I'm that damn passionate about this tag match. Again, it was fucking awesome. I loved that by the end of this match, 2 things happened. One, Bandito pinned Okada. I can't stress that enough. Bandito pinned Okada. Like that's honestly insane. There's like maybe like 4 or 5 people that have pinned Okada in AEW, and then like all around to say like, hey, Bandito's one of the people that have ever pinned Okada, that's insane to me. But that's pretty damn cool to me as well. So congratulations, Bro Dito, on retaining. But when Takeshita is like outside the ring and like he's coming to his senses, he's just like, this bitch. So I'm gonna say this now, if it happens, because I do think like this is now the fire that is lit under Takeshita. That not only does he have a duty as IWGP World Champion to be a defending fighting champion, but now for his self-pride, for the love of the game, to be a D1 hater, he's going to have to win the C2. Because I know that Takeshita can't let that Rainmaker slide. So, what did this do? 1, it made Brodito look great. 2, it gave us a great tag match. 3, it furthers the waiting game of Takeshita versus Okada. And honestly, when that day comes, I really hope it's at a pay-per-view because I really want to do predictions for that. I know that I know Toffler will be giving you guys the C2 predictions, so keep an eye out for that next month. But guys, that was everything. That was AEW WrestleDream Review 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed the listen. I hope you guys enjoyed WrestleDream. What was your favorite match? My favorite match was the tag match. A little underwhelming was the I Quit match, but again, I understand I'm not watching wrestling past 12:30, unless it's like Japan. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed WrestleDream. I hope you guys enjoyed Talk for Glory. I know we're at like 1,000 plus, and I don't know the number off the top of my head, but we are pretty close to 2,000 subscribers. So thank you everyone that's been here. Thank you everyone that's ever commented. You know, we're 2 months away from December. The doors are closing for who's going to be Superstar of the Year. So, you know, that little tight space is getting pretty hard to breathe in. But with all that being said, guys, thank you all for listening. I hope you guys do what Toffaloy always says. That's to stay safe. Have a great day and or night. Touch some grass because wrestling's never that deep. If you ever get that mad about wrestling, really think about your life. And most importantly, enjoy wrestling, guys. Oh, one more one more message. That Talk for Glory star ratings for WrestleDream might be coming about next week. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Stay safe. Have a great day and/or night. Don't take wrestling too seriously, and most importantly, enjoy wrestling, guys.